Good morning. So we are back to our 2011 Stanley Cup replay. Big Country Time Sports. This is Big Country Hockey Time. This is the large coil bound, made for those who just wanted a larger book that's easier to read. Okay, so for those who were following along, I started this series before Rodney made changes to the entire history tome. So the first two games are a little offensive, meaning more goals were scored than these two teams had, of course. But the first game, Vancouver won at home 4-2 over Boston. In game two, Vancouver scored 7 goals and beat Vancouver 7-2. Again, there is an addendum to those two games. I won't replay them. I'm a firm believer when you play the games, they count, even if you make some mistakes. So I won't replay them. Vancouver in the real Stanley Cup was up on Boston 2-0. So we still have the same situation there. The goals, of course, that were accounted for, Rodney has since corrected the ratings, especially fixing the goalie ratings. The goalie ratings were reversed. And so I think he has corrected that. So I have new lines with new ratings for the remainder of the series. So we're going to be able to finish the series now with a proper rating. So we have Vancouver, and I set my lines. Remember, I do 3 lines because all 3 lines are rolled for the segment. So line 1 for segment 1, 2 for 3, and 3 for 3. And then, of course, matching up which defensive player is attempting to curtail a highlight shot on goal. So those lines are now set. The ratings are correct. And the new ratings these two teams don't feature any shorthand goal shots. So it's going to be fascinating to see how that affects the performance of these teams. Of course, their goalie ratings now are right on, spot on. So this is going to be great fun. All right, so here we go. Let's get started. Vancouver gets the luxury to roll first because they are the visitor. This is our home line, potential shooter, and this is our defensive man right here, right? So we're going to have to make a couple of rolls per segment, but here we go. Vancouver is going to see Daniel Sedin is going to get a potential shot. He's a 4+, which means he's going to get 2 shots as one's going to be a power play shot, and 4 is going to be our second line, and that is going to be Boychuk. So Boychuk's a 3 versus 5 is a +2 shot for Daniel Sedin. +2, he is going to fail to get the shot. So it's technically, we just put a slash through that because there is no highlight shot there for Sedin. It is poke checked away by Boychuk at the last minute. Let's go and look at Boston. Boston's going to be looking at Lucic, and 3 is going to be the first line. That's going to be Ehrhoff or Hamus. It's Ehrhoff. Ehrhoff is a 4, so we're going to be looking at Lucic. It's a -1 shot for Lucic, and -1 shot for is no. So we do not see a shot, right? We're just looking to see if they get a highlight shot. All right, that was line 1. Canucks and the Bruins. All right, line 1 done. Let's go to line 2 for Vancouver. It's going to be Burrows, who's a 3, versus our first line, Kara or Seidenberg. It's going to be Seidenberg's 2. Burrows is a 3, so a +1 shot for Burrows. And no, there will be stymied by Seidenberg. The Boston Bruins, they're going to be looking at Ryder, who's going to... Oh, wait. I'm supposed to get a power play shot, too, for Sedin. Ryder will get a power play shot. So let's finish Ryder's play right now. 4 is second line, and that's going to be Baetska, 4. So 4 versus 3 is -1 for Ryder. And Ryder will put a shot on goal, so we're going to put in here for Boston. I mean, not for Boston. Yeah, for Boston. Ryder with a shot on goal. All right, so let's take a look at this goalie. Goalie is 3. Ryder is a 3, so we're going to be looking at 0. So 1, 2, or 3, Luongo will give up the goal. And no, he does not. It's going to be a save. And let's get our power play shot. Remember, power play shot, same thing. We're looking for who's going to be defending Ryder in the power play. 4, that's going to be second line, and it's going to be Edler. 4 versus 3 is -1 shot on the power play, and it is a shot on goal. So Ryder during his series is going to get a power play shot on goal. And again, we're going to line them up. So it's going to be Ryder with a 3 versus Luongo. He's looking at 0, 1, 2, or 3. Luongo will give up the goal. No, it's going to be a save. And Ryder with 2 shots during that, 2 highlight shots, both saves. And we need to go back and do the Sedin. I don't know if I'm saying this right. Sedin. Power play shot, 4+. And he's going to be facing 3. That's going to be Kara. So it's going to be a +1 shot for Sedin. He needs a high number 4. He's going to get the shot. So back here on line 1, it would be a power play shot on goal. And it's going to be 5 versus 4. So at a +1 shot, 1, 2, or 3, Thomas will relinquish a goal to Daniel Sedin. And he does not. It's going to be a save. So both goalies now stymieing the enemy. All right, line 3, third segment, Vancouver Canucks. It's going to be Torres against Kara or Seidenberg, and it's going to be Kara for -2 shot for Torres, and it's going to be an injury. Torres injured, so we put here Torres injured. He's now out, and that means our Hansen will replace Torres. So Torres gets injured. He's out for the remainder of the game. Let's do the third line for Boston. 6. This is going to be Wheeler. He's a +2 versus Ehrhoff or Hamhouse. It's going to be Ehrhoff. So it's 4 versus 2. -2 shot for Wheeler. Wheeler needs a 5 or a 6. He will. Look at this. Wheeler with a shot on goal. By the way, this was Sedin. Torres was injured. Okay, so we're looking at Wheeler with a shot on goal. 2 versus goalie Luongo, -1. On a 1 or 2, Luongo will relinquish the goal. And no, it's going to be a save by Luongo. And that's going to wrap up the first period, folks. It's 0-0. Let's roll for the shots on goal for Vancouver. They're going to get 5, 6, 7 shots on goal for Vancouver. Boston gets 7, 8, 9, 10 shots on goal in the first. And both goalies are holding their own. That's a little better scoring. Again, we had a 4-2 game, which isn't crazy, but the 7-2 game on Tim Thomas was difficult to swallow, as Thomas was the best goalie in hockey in 2011. So, all right, second period underway. I'm going to continue to roll Vancouver first. It's just easier to go. That way I don't make a mistake here. There's a lot of moving parts for the hockey game. Baseball is simple. Basketball, there's some moving parts. But hockey's probably got more moving parts because I have to roll for the shooter and the line and then the defensive player. And then, of course, we take shots. So it's a little more, it takes time to kind of get into the rhythm. And so I haven't played this in a couple of weeks. All right, here we go. Line 1, segment 1. It's going to be Kessler, who's a 5 and a power play shot. So we're going to be looking at Kessler potentially, or Kiesler. I don't know how you pronounce that. I would assume Kessler, but I could be wrong. 2 is going to be the first line. It could be Kara. It is Kara. 4 versus 5 is a +1 for Kessler, and it will be a shot. So Kessler's going to get a shot on goal, which means he automatically gets a power play shot on goal. But let's go ahead and do that shot on goal. 5 versus 4 is a +1. 1, 2, or 3. Thomas will give up the first goal of the night. And no, he does not. So it's a save. And his second shot on goal, let's find out what the defensive team is. It is Ferenc or Boychuk. It is Boychuk. So 3, it's going to be +2 shot. And indeed, we're going to see a shot on goal, a second shot on goal for Kessler. And again, we're looking at 5 versus 4, a +1. 1, 2, or 3 is a score. A 6 means Thomas gets injured for the night. And 1, it will be a goal. So we're going to see a Kessler goal. Look at that, folks. It is 1. So Kessler with 2 shots in the first 6.66 minutes of the second period is going to get a power play shot on goal. Again, you can devise a way to do assists. All I'm looking for is which players are involved in highlight shots. Boston. down 2-0, and now they are at home, and they have given up a goal to Kessler. Or might be Kiesler, I don't know, so forgive me. Holy cow. All right, Boston, here we go. Boston is going to be looking at Ricci, and they're going to be facing the second line defender, who is Baetzka. Baetzka is 4. It's a -2 shot for Ricci, and he needs to roll high. He indeed gets a shot, so we're going to be looking with a shot on goal for Ricci, and we're going to be looking at a shot of 2 versus the goalie, so -1 shot, gives up a goal on a 1 or 2, and no, it'll be a save for Luongo. How about that? All right, line 2 for Vancouver. It's going to be Burrows versus first line Seidenberg, so 2 versus 3, so +1 shot for Burrows is going to be no shot on goal, so I just put a line through that. We move on, and Burrows does not have a power play opportunity. We're going to be looking at Ryder with a power play shot, so we may get a shot from Ryder versus Ehrhoff or Hamous, and it's going to be Hamous, which is a 4, so 4 versus 3, -1 shot for Ryder, and it will not be a shot, but he does get a power play look now. Power play look is 3. That's going to be the first line, and it's going to be Ehrhoff, so 4. And Ryder's a 3, so -1 shot again for Ryder on the power play is a shot on goal. So we're going to get a power play shot on goal for Ryder, who's now had 3 shots in this game. Ryder is shooting at 3 versus Luongo's 3, so a 0 shot, 1, 2, or 3. He ties the game. There it is, folks. It's a goal, power play goal. So both teams have scored a power play goal. Ryder knots the game in the second period. Third line, final segment for Vancouver is going to be 4. That's going to be Bolduc versus 5 is Ferentz or Boychuk. It's going to be Ferentz, so 3, and Bolduc, so -2 shot for Bolduc. I may be mispronouncing that as well, and no shot done there. Boston Bruins, final chance to score here going into the third period. It's going to be 4. That's going to be Campbell versus Baetzka or Edler. It's going to be Baetzka, so 4 versus, who did I say? Campbell? 2, so -2 shot for Campbell. And 6, he is going to get a shot. Shot on goal for Campbell. He is a 2 versus Luongo, so -3, 1 or 2. They're going to take the lead. And no, it's going to be a save for Luongo. Holy cow, folks. So we're going to roll for 8, 9, 10. So 10 shots on goal. And a goal is scored by Kessler. And Boston ends up getting 6, 7, 8, 9 shots on goal, and they score a goal. It is 1-1 after 2 periods in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup. The first game, Vancouver scores 4 goals. Boston 2. That's I think in real life. What was it in real life? It was 1-0 Vancouver. The second game was a 3-2 overtime game. So you can see how low scoring these games were. Great defenses, great goalie. Not to knock the offenses, but these teams have really good defenses, really good goalies. Vancouver, of course, in Game 2, this was the one that was more difficult. Where is the score? Well, apparently I've lost the damn box score. 7-2. Vancouver had 4 goals in the first period, so that was brutal. That was brutal. But right now, folks, Boston's found a way to knock this up going into the third period at home. If not, they're going to fall down 3-0. So they needed this, and again, in front of hometown fans. Boston did win every game of the series at home. They ended up winning the series in real life. And they ended up putting up, they actually had an 8-goal game in Game 3. They're not on pace for 8 goals here, folks. It is possible. They could score 6 goals. Well, not quite, because there's not enough power play shooters. for Boston. But some teams could score 6 goals in a, or even more. You could score even more if you have penalty kill shooters. So, all right, here we go. Final. We're going to roll Vancouver first, sticking with the left to right. Boston has fortunately got a Ryder power play goal. Campbell had a chance to give Boston the lead in the final segment, but it was saved by Luongo. And again, we had an injury. Hansen in for Torres. But Hansen has not shown up yet. So here we go. It's going to be Daniel Sedin versus the first line defense of Kara. So it's going to be 4+ versus 4. So a +1 roll. He needs to roll high. He is going to get a shot on goal. So folks, here we go. Daniel Sedin, who's been the man, is going to get a shot on goal. Plus he's going to get a power play chance. Shot on goal versus Kara's going to be +1. He got his shot. So we're looking at 5 versus 4. So +1 goalie column is a goal. Sedin with a goal. Sedin. Oh my God, power play shot. We're looking at first line Kara again. So again, Kara with a chance to stymie this power play shot. +1. It's going to be a stop. There it is, folks. No shot on goal as Kara shuts that down. But Sedin now gives Vancouver a 2-1 lead early in the third period. Boston now needs to get the most out of their offense. We're going to see Recchi again versus first line Ehrhoff. So 4 versus 2, -2 shot. He needs a 5 or a 6. And indeed, he's going to put a shot on goal. Hallelujah. That is Recchi with a shot on goal. He does not have a power play, though. So he needs to make the best of this shot. 2 versus 3, -1. He needs to roll low. 1 or 2 gets a goal. No, it's a save. Luongo with a save. That could have been an injury for the goalie. So we had a chance. Vancouver 5. We're looking at second line. 5 is going to be Volpatti, the worst player. I wouldn't say the worst player on the ice, but definitely the lowest rated offensive player here. 0 versus second line defender of Boychuk. -3 shot on goal. He can only get a shot off on a 6. Wow, close but no cigar. But Boston's defense stymies Volpatti. And we're going to be looking at 6. That's Ryder again, and that's a good roll. That's actually the roll you wanted because he has a power play. So Ryder with a 3 versus Hamhus is 4. So it's going to be -1 shot for Ryder. No, nothing home. Let's see who the defender is on this second power play shot. It's going to be Ehrhoff again, stymieing Ryder. -1 shot. No, both of them quashed. So he did get a shot on goal. Excuse me. He could have earned a shot on goal. Well, he did get a shot on goal, right? That was a save. Is that right? Or did he miss both? No, he never got a shot on goal. So I wrote down Ryder before I needed to. So quash that. All right, here we go. Final segment. Boston needs to stop Vancouver here, and they need to score. And here we go. It's going to be 6 is going to be Anderson, the other lowest rated offensive player in the game, versus second line defender Boychuk. So -3 shot for Anderson. And indeed, he will not. I think Ryder did roll a 6 and get a shot on goal. So I'm going to do that. Right? Okay, 2. 2 is no shot. And he is not a power play shooter. So that's it. Boston has managed to stymie Vancouver in the final moments. Can Boston tie the game? It's going to be 1. It is going to be Marchand at 3. The best offensive player on the third line is the man here versus the top defensive line of Hamhus. It's going to be 4 versus 3. -1 shot. He needs a 5 or a 6. No, that's it. Game over. We're going to see Vancouver in the first period, no goal. Second period, goal. Third period, goal. We're going to see Boston 0-1-0. Folks, the final 2-1. That's closer to what I would have thought. Let's get shots on goal. 3, 4 shots. So they held Vancouver to only 4 shots on goal. They themselves got 10, 11, 12 shots on goal in the third, and they could not get it past Luongo. Unbelievable. So total shots on goal for this game would be 17. 21. Vancouver had 21 shots on goal, gave up 1 goal. So that's a pretty damn good percentage. What is that, 98%, 90 something? And then Boston gave up, whoops, I did that wrong. Take that back. Boston had 21 shots on goal. No. Yeah, faced, excuse me. 21 shots on goal, sorry, for Vancouver. It scored 2 goals. Boston had 10, 19, 29, 30, 31 shots on goal for Boston, and they could get just the 1 goal. So Vancouver's Luongo had a very high save percentage tonight, and Boston, Tim Thomas didn't do poorly. He gave up 2 out of 21, not great. So Vancouver was efficient. Not as many shots, but better shots. And Vancouver will go up now. So Vancouver is up 3-0 in the 2011 Stanley Cup. Holy cow, folks. They were up in real life 2-0, and then Boston hammered them 8-1 in real life. And in this third game, again, Vancouver 2-1. Outstanding. So there it is, folks. That is Big Country Time Hockey. I will of course try to record every Stanley Cup game here. However, one more loss for Boston, and this series will be finished. So it's going to be interesting. We are in Boston for Game 4. So thanks for watching. Bye-bye.